Marcia, and I'm going to show you how to make sourdough pizza dough. And it has different things like beer in it, and it is a pretty amazing thing to have. Okay, let's show you the ingredients. 2 cups of sourdough starter, 1,000 grams of bread flour, which includes 3/8 of a cup of gluten, 376 grams of water, which is filtered, 3½ teaspoons of kosher salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 112 grams of beer. This one's a lager, and then 112 grams of IPA beer. What I like to do first is I'm going to take my 2 cups of sourdough starter and get that put in. I like to use a wooden spoon, because then it doesn't make any effect on the taste of your sourdough or your bread. Okay. I made this yesterday, and actually it got all the way to the top, but I'm putting it down a little bit right now. And we put in our 2 cups. Maybe that's a little over 1, but it's good. The sourdough starter is pretty amazing. It grows quite quickly. But I had it in my refrigerator for over 2 months, and then I fed it when I brought it out and got it to room temperature. And oh my goodness, after I fed it 4 cups of flour and 16 ounces of water, it grew and almost overflowed this, because there was 1,000 grams in it at first, and then it went up to over 2,000 grams. Okay, so I'm going to put this in here. Sourdough starter, and what I like to do is I like to get my salt dissolved. So I'll heat that up in the microwave for a little bit, the water, so I can dissolve the salt in some of the water. Okay, so let's take a little bit of that, probably like 1/3 of a cup, and I'll heat it up for about 30 seconds. And then I'll put my 3½ teaspoons of kosher salt in it when it gets ready. Okay, it's pretty hot. So let's pour the kosher salt in. Just going to mix it up so it starts to dissolve on its own. Okay, we'll let that continue to dissolve while I mix up the flour. I'm going to put my gluten in my bread flour. Then I'm going to put my flour in my sourdough starter. I'm going to add my olive oil to my water. Okay, I'm going to add my beer also to this so it can all get kind of mixed up. It's pretty chilly right now, but that should be okay. Okay. Let's dissolve that just a little bit more. As you can still see the salt granules. So now I have my 1,000 grams of bread flour, which includes 3/8 of a cup of gluten, 2 cups of sourdough starter, 3½ teaspoons of kosher salt, 2 tablespoons olive oil, and 224 grams of beer altogether. Okay, so let's mix this up a little bit. Let's pour all that liquid together. The salt was pretty much dissolved. And what I do is I will let this sit for a couple of hours, and then let it rise. And when it's all risen, I divide it into 9-ounce pizza dough. And the nice thing about this is you can freeze it. And I can freeze it for up to 6 months to a year, and take them out the day before and put them in the fridge, and by the next day they're thawed out. And then I put them at room temperature. If you leave them at room temperature when it's a really hot day, they kind of start sticking. I put them between parchment paper. But this looks like it's not mixing that great, so I'm going to start using my hands. And to get it mixed with all of the flour around there. It's a nice wet dough. And the cool thing is, guys, is when my husband and I went to Hawaii and went to this really good pizza place, I asked them what kind of dough they had, and they said they use a sourdough. So then I asked them the next time we came, because we went there a couple of times, and they said, oh, yeah, we have 2 different kinds of beer that we use in our sourdough bread for the pizza. I'm like, ooh, that sounds like a good idea. So that's what I did. The next time I made my pizza dough, I decided to put some some beer in it. Now this looks like quite a wet dough, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more bread flour, and I'll mix it up a little bit more. This is a beautiful dough. I added another half a cup of flour, and I'm kneading it together, and I'll let it rise for a couple hours, and then we'll come back and I'll divide it into the 9-ounce pizza doughs. And then I will freeze a couple of them, and I will leave the rest in the refrigerator so I can show you how to make an uni oven pizza. Thank you. Okay, here's my dough, and this is going to make 9 rounds. They're 9-ounce rounds, and it's 77 ounces, so 8 I guess it is. So I'm going to turn on my scale, and it's going to be working. And we're going to try getting 9 ounces out. 7, so 2 more ounces. Oh my, 9 3/8. Okay, 9 1/4, that's good. So I'm going to put a little bit of flour on it. I don't want it to stick to my parchment paper. I'm going to put it in between parchment paper, but I like to put a little flour in it. Then that way it won't stick. And this is about the size. Take my parchment paper. I put it in there. And then I'm going to put 8 of these in here. Or 7. And then I will freeze them. I'm going to freeze all but like 2 so I can show you how the uni pizza is made in a couple of days. Thank you. I just took my bread out of the refrigerator about 3 hours ago, and I'm going to make it probably 8 inches across, 10 inches across. And what I do love is the Classico pizza sauce. It is just the best. So I'm putting the sauce on first, probably 3 tablespoons probably. And then I will add all the toppings that I like. I have some bacon. Mushrooms, they're like my favorite. And I did saute them earlier. and then some pepperoni. Then I'm going to cover it with cheese. So whatever you like to put on top of the pizza is probably the best idea. And what we really like is jalapeno, well, actually pepper jack cheese. So when I'm finished with this, I'll put the pepper jack cheese on. And I have my uni pizza putter on her. And I'm going to put cornmeal on it. And then I'm going to put flour on it. Because in that way, when we put it in the pizza oven outside, it comes off easier. So it has to be like that. And I do need help to put this on, so just a minute. Okay, let's get the pizza put on the pizza thing. Okay, now shake it a little bit just to make sure that it's ready. Yep, okay, go on. So Dave's adding the wood now to get it really hot, and the oven is up to how many degrees?
Over 900.
Over 900 degrees. Okay, then he's got the uni, and he's gonna put it in. Show him the pizza. Yep, it's nice and shaky. Good job. Okay, so 30 seconds. It's gonna be done in 90 seconds.
30.
Do you have the timer on? You do. Okay, great. So we'll show you after he turns it, or when he turns it. Okay, first turn. Okay. Second turn is coming up. And then it's going to be done in 30 seconds.
Almost done now.
Is it?
Almost.
Looks really good, Dave. How's it looking, Dave?
It's done.
Oh my goodness. That's a mushroom and bacon pizza. Enjoy. Hi. So it'd be wonderful if you could subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.